Here you see some of the types of tools that we use for ghost hunting. One of the things that you'll need a lot of will be batteries to power all these tools. As you can see over here, I have a container that has a bunch of A's in it, and triple A's, double A's, 9-volt batteries. I also have a number of different types of battery testers. This one here tests the button batteries, the 9-volt batteries, and this one tests the A's and the C's and double A's. This one will also test the 9-volt batteries, but it has leads on it, so it can test any type of battery that I put the terminals to. As you can see here, some of the samples of the different types of batteries that we have. Batteries and the triple A's here. I have a box full of C's and D's over here. Also, you'll probably need to have a bunch of SD cards for your cameras and your recording equipment so that you don't run out of media while you're on an investigation. When you first get into ghost hunting, you probably wouldn't need anything but a cell phone with some apps on it, and I'll go into that in our next video about the apps you need for your cell phone. I also indicated in the first video that I would show you how to build some dowsing rods with coat hangers. Well, I told you I would show you how to go ghost hunting with some coat hangers. But anyway, these are a couple of bronze brazing rods that have been bent for dowsing rods. My personal set is larger than these. I like them longer. But anyway, I'll go into that in the next video that we do with the cell phone and the dowsing rods. We also have an attachment here for attaching our cell phones so we can do videos or use our cell phones as an instrument on a tripod. We have a laser grid, and we have a laser grid here. Now these two laser grids help us to spot things like black shadow figures. This one has the button on the bottom. It also has a tripod that you can set it up on. And as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see it on the table or not there. But anyway, the pattern on my hand, you can create patterns. Now, as there's movement in there, or if you look on the table, well, I'm not sure you can see, but there's a shadow on the table where my hand has blocked those dots. And so it's easier for you to see movement if you've got the laser grid. And that's part of what the laser grid's about. We have a number of heads, different heads for the laser grid, so that we can change the type of grid that we have. We have here a couple of different types of motion detectors. This one is audible only. This one lights up a light, so if there's any motion detected by these detectors, they will set off and alert us as to that activity. A lot of times we place those in places where our attention is not focused, so that we're made aware of any changes around us that occur. When you're doing some investigations, you'll also probably need to take a flashlight. This is a small mini light. This is one that I have just recently picked up, and you can see that the head rotates around and becomes straight. It comes back around to a 90-degree angle. It has a magnet on the bottom so that it can be stood on different types of metal, and it will stay put. You can see it has a bright searchlight, then it has a ring light, and then it has the red lights for night vision. These 4 devices here are Radio Shack hacks. Well, these 3 are Radio Shack hacks. This is an ITC research device for collecting EVPs on. What it does is scan radio frequencies, and over here I have 2 Mel meters. This one was my first Mel meter, and it gives you temperature, and it gives you the electromagnetic force that you're reading. This one here has a motion detector part to it where it senses anything getting close to it. and it also has the lights that light up, so it alerts you a little bit better about what's happening in the area. Both of them record the highest reading, so if you don't see the reading, at least that reading is preserved and you'll know what the highest reading was in the area you were in. Here I've got 4 different voice recorders. These 2 are Olympus. This is a Sony and this is a Zoom. This is the Zoom H4, which is a really nice stereo recording device, and it has the whisker cover to help eliminate noise, air in the wind making noises across the mic when you're outdoors. So anyway, whenever you're using some of these devices, if you put it on a table, you'll want to put a pad under it so that it doesn't record anything hitting the table. This here is a very nice device. I really enjoy using it. It's called an EDI or EDI. Across the bottom, when you set it on the table, it's checking for vibration. It also checks for milligausses on EMFs, like those meters over there, the Mel meters. But in addition, it also is checking your temperature, and it's checking the pressure, and it's checking the humidity. So while this thing is doing these checks, it does a check. This one's set for every 2 seconds, and it's printing out a chart. Well, it creates a chart that will export from this SD card into an Excel file. If I know when I'm going to turn it on, like if I'm using this video camera here, I would make a note, hey, the time is 2:15 p.m. and I'm turning this on. So when I get the printout, I can put 0 is 2 p.m. and relate it to anything that happens in their camera that's recorded during that time, and I can see what caused the temperature change, or what caused the pressure change, or what the milligausses were doing. All of it can be documented as to what was happening around this device at the time it occurred. Okay, I'm going to move the camera slightly. Over here, I have a Kodak DSL camera. Here, I have a Nikon that we use. I have the flash for the Nikon here. Actually, that can be used on that Kodak also. I also have one of the video cameras that we have here, which is a JVC. Here is another shotgun mic for the system. Here are some external microphone transmitters. We've got different types of transmitters that connect to these different microphones so that we can wear them and make the recordings from wherever we are away from the camera. Also, we have some electronic storage devices here. This is a 1T drive. This, of course, is a card reader that reads the SD cards. This camera here is a IR night camera that's been converted, and so you need an IR light to power it whenever you are using it. This is a thermometer. It shoots a laser light across the room and tells you the temperature of whatever you've just shot. That's showing 77 degrees. This camera is one of 12 cameras that we have that is a CCTV camera, and it's connected to a computer and a software program that we use, and we run hardwire. Some of these cameras can be wireless, but since we're talking about the radio frequencies that can be used there by the entities to communicate with us, then that would mean that they can still influence those type of CCTV cameras. And so I like to use the hardwired cameras, because if they break the wire or try to mess with the wire, I'm going to see it in the wire. These two devices are EMF detectors, and they're both Trifield meters. This is called the natural EM meter, electromagnetic force. This one is electronic, it's digital, and you can see it reads the magnetic, the electric, and the radio frequency ranges as it's reading the area. You can tell whether the electrical activity is increasing or not, or what's happening there. This one is analog with a needle on it, and you can see that it reads the magnetic. There's the electric. Here's your radio frequency, and here in the middle it has a setting for sum. So you get a sum of all the readings. We can go into what EMFs mean and why we check EMFs during our other videos here. This is a white noise generator. It creates different white noises. You can create a white noise. Actually, the scanner radios that we have there, they are using white noise in between the words that are broken out, so they're generating white noise. And this white noise is believed to help give some of the spirits energy. Some people on their investigations like to generate white noise for about 10 minutes before they try to collect the electronic voice phenomenon and make their recordings, so that the entities have built up a little energy while doing it. This will cover up your EVPs if you have it running while you're trying to make those recordings. And we're going to go into how to do the EVPs and how to capture them in a lot of detail. Okay, in essence, that's pretty much the equipment that we use. We're going to be asking for donations from people in the future, and at that time, if you make contributions to us, we can do videos on those devices and how to use them and tell you which ones we think are best. You might go by and check our website and register there. We would love to have you sign up, and we will email you whenever we make additions to our videos, so that you can be sure and not miss any. Thank you.